Y'all, this isn't just messy anymore. This is disturbing. And if even half of what's being whispered is true, then we're watching something deeply wrong unfold in real time. Kanye West is officially crashing out again. At least that's what the internet wants you to believe. But this time, the meltdown narrative doesn't quite land the same. Because now, the rumors aren't about ego, politics, or erratic interviews. They're about his daughter, a 12-year-old child, and alleged messages that should never, under any circumstances, exist anywhere near a kid. According to online speculation, Kanye reportedly discovered disturbing direct messages on Northwest's phone during one of his visitations. Messages that allegedly suggested adult attention, financial dynamics, and conversations that crossed lines no child should ever be near, especially not a child born into one of the most famous families on Earth. The internet froze. Because suddenly, this wasn't funny. It was another Kanye rant. It wasn't meme-worthy. It was chilling. Rumors started flying fast, whispers of inappropriate influence, secret communications, and the most unsettling phrase of all being thrown around recklessly online: sugar daddy. Again, these are allegations, not confirmed facts, but the sheer existence of these rumors was enough to set social media on fire. And here, where everything shifts. Because if Kanye truly found something like that on his daughter's phone, and if her own mother didn't, then this stops being about Kanye West's mental health and starts becoming about parental oversight, protection, and accountability. Kanye reportedly lost it. And honestly, a lot of parents said they would too. This is his daughter, his firstborn, the child he has openly said changed his life. The same child he's consistently described as his mirror, his heart, his twin flame. So when people mocked his reaction, others asked a very different question. Why is he the only one panicking? Because from Kanye's perspective, this isn't new. This isn't sudden. This is his worst fear coming true, exactly the thing he's been screaming about for years. Hollywood exploiting children, fame consuming innocence, and powerful systems overriding parental instincts. For years, Kanye has warned that his kids, especially North, are at risk simply because of who they are, who they're connected to, and the environment they're growing up in. At the time, critics called him paranoid, unstable, controlling. But now people are going back and watching those clips differently. Because if a 12-year-old could allegedly hide something this serious from her own mother, what else is being missed? What else is being ignored, or worse, normalized? And why does it feel like Kanye is the only adult in the room pulling the fire alarm? This is where the story gets darker. Because once you zoom out, this situation doesn't exist in isolation. It collides directly with the ongoing custody tensions, the trademark disputes, and Kanye's long-running accusations against the Kardashian machine. Let's talk about the trademarks. Last year, Kanye publicly accused Kim Kardashian of trademarking their children's names without his full understanding of what that meant. At the time, many people brushed it off as another overreaction. But Kanye framed it differently. He said it was about control. In his own words, he claimed that Kim, a white woman, had control over the name and likeness of his black children. That statement sparked outrage, debate, and dismissal. But leaked text messages later showed that while Kanye may have agreed in principle, he allegedly did not anticipate the extent of authority Kim would have. Kim reportedly texted him saying she trademarked North's name to protect her, specifically to prevent her involvement in a song. She claimed this was a mutual agreement, and that ownership would transfer to North at 18. But Kanye's response was explosive. He allegedly demanded changes and warned that if the situation wasn't amended, it would turn into an all-out war with public fallout neither of them would survive. At the time, people sided with Kim. Kanye wanting his daughter associated with controversial industry figures raised eyebrows. But hindsight has a way of shifting perspective. Because fans started asking, was Kanye really trying to exploit his daughter? Or was he trying to stop something before it went too far? Things got even murkier when reports surfaced suggesting Kim wanted to change the children's last name, dropping West entirely. Publicly, this was framed as practicality. Privately, sources claimed it was about branding and control. Insiders alleged Kim was positioning herself for full legal custody, which would grant her final say over everything, from schooling to appearances to business ventures. And if that's true, Kanye's fears suddenly don't sound so irrational. Because here's the contradiction fans can't ignore. If Kanye was truly uninvolved, how did he find these alleged messages and not Kim? That question alone cracked the narrative wide open. And then came the most disturbing theory of all. Some fans believe Kim didn't just miss the warning signs. They believe she may have known and done nothing. Again, this is speculation. But it's speculation rooted in a long history of allegations surrounding the Kardashian family and how fame is cultivated, monetized, and protected at all costs. For years, the Kardashians have faced rumors about yachts, wealthy benefactors, and transactional relationships masked as glamour. At the center of many of those allegations stands Kris Jenner, the family matriarch often accused of being less a mother and more a manager. Those accusations resurfaced with force when Ray J reignited the conversation about Kim's infamous tape. He claimed the tape was never leaked, it was planned. According to him, Kris Jenner was involved from the beginning, allegedly reviewing footage and orchestrating its release for maximum impact. The idea of a mother curating intimate footage of her own daughter shocked many, but it also confirmed what critics had been saying for years. And that wasn't the only allegation. There have long been rumors that Kim was introduced to wealthy men at a young age, traveling on lavish trips under the guise of companionship. One particular name often mentioned was later exposed in a money laundering scandal, raising even more questions about where the money came from and who was really pulling the strings. And it didn't stop with Kim. Kylie Jenner's teenage relationship with an adult rapper raised eyebrows even at the time. Publicly denied, privately normalized. The family dismissed concerns, framed it as harmless, and moved on. But looking back, many fans now see a pattern. Young girls, older men, fame before protection. So when Kanye says he refuses to let his daughters be exploited, people are finally listening. Back in 2022, he publicly stated that his children would never pose for adult magazines, never be pushed into adult industries, and never be pimped out by Hollywood. He said Hollywood destroyed his family. He said adult content nearly destroyed him. He said he would die before letting that happen to North, Chicago, Psalm, or Saint. At the time, people laughed. Now they're not laughing anymore. Because if these alleged messages are real, and again, that has not been confirmed, then Kanye wasn't spiraling. He was sounding an alarm. And this is where the story stops feeling like celebrity gossip and starts feeling genuinely uncomfortable. Because when a parent screams for years, and everyone calls them crazy, and then something happens that aligns with their fears, you're forced to ask, what if he was never wrong? What if he was just early? What really hits different is this: Kanye doesn't benefit from this narrative. If anything, it costs him everything: his reputation, his access, his peace. Yet he keeps fighting. And maybe that's because, in his mind, this isn't about control. It's about survival. Because if the systems he's been warning about are already reaching his daughter, then his biggest nightmare isn't coming. It's already here.